Another thing I wanted to focus on is this idea of languaging your purpose. Because in order to create change, sometimes that means changing the way people talk about change and changing the way people, and when you change the way people talk, you often change the way people think, right? Language and thinking go together. Sometimes people are cynical about that. You know, I've certainly talked with folks who people go, well, you're just changing you really mean this, right? You're just calling it a different thing. But I think those of us who are immersed in language know that the connotations that go along with certain words, certain phrases, the way we express ourselves, do inform the thought process and the prejudices and assumptions and the barriers that go along with that language. That's one of the reasons I thought this was so important, you guys putting your stuff on the board, because part of what you're starting to develop as a coalition is a common language, a vocabulary that expresses your thinking about what you're doing and why you're doing it. And when you leave this room of true believers, right, when we're out of the tent revival and you have to go out into the world, you're going to need that language, right? That language will be part of your toolkit in creating change. The other thing I would strongly encourage you to do is speak from the heart, which is something we're not very good at in academe. I'm not sure exactly why, but I was really impressed with your president. I think he speaks from the heart when he speaks to you about his hopes, his aspirations for your college. And I think he's a good example for you in that regard, because one of the things that you're going to have to do in order to move your institution along a continuum is show your sincerity. That's part of the trust piece that you were mentioning earlier. And so there's certainly nothing wrong with you demonstrating your disappointments, with you showing that you care about something, or you care about a particular group of students, or you care about an issue. I thought it was really poignant that you mentioned that you were concerned about feeling like you might be marginalized for your alarm. And that's, in a way, fear of speaking from the heart to an extent. And I certainly understand where that comes from, because it is easy to feel vulnerable in those moments. At the same time, if you don't, it'll be very difficult for people to have faith in the noble purpose that you're trying to define yourselves with.